Piso coin of 1997. This coin is not just a piece of metal used for transactions. It carries with it a legacy of national identity, cultural pride, and an important chapter in the story of the Philippines' economic development. Stick with me because the journey of this coin will leave you amazed. The 5 piso coin of 1997 belongs to the new design series, introduced by the Banco Central ng Pilipinas in 1983. This series was part of a modernization effort to standardize Philippine coinage and reflect the nation's heroes, values, and traditions. By 1997, the 5 piso had already become an essential coin in daily commerce, but this particular year's mintage came during a time of significant change in both the economy and society. The obverse of the 1997 5 piso coin features Emilio Aguinaldo, the first president of the Philippines, known for leading the revolution against Spanish colonization and for proclaiming Philippine independence in 1898. By placing Aguinaldo on the coin, the country immortalized his contributions and reminded every Filipino who held it of the sacrifices made for freedom. The portrait of Aguinaldo on the coin was not just symbolic, it was also a powerful tool of education. Many young Filipinos who may not have learned much about him in school still encountered his face in their pockets. It was like carrying a small reminder of independence with every purchase, reinforcing the idea that national heroes live on through everyday life. The reverse of the coin bears the seal of the Banco Central ng Pilipinas, which had been newly re-established in 1993. After its predecessor, the Central Bank of the Philippines, was dissolved. The seal's inclusion marked the fresh beginning of a more independent and modernized banking institution that would guide the nation's monetary policies. The 1997 issue came at a time when the Philippine economy was facing both opportunities and challenges. The Asian financial crisis erupted that same year, shaking currencies and economies across the region. For the Philippines, this period highlighted the importance of strong monetary management and stable coinage. The 5 piso, being one of the higher denominations in circulation at that time, was a vital coin for commerce, bridging the gap between smaller change and higher bills. Beyond its economic role, the coin also carried immense cultural significance. Filipinos had a long tradition of embedding history and identity into their money. The 5 piso of 1997 continued that tradition, representing not only Aguinaldo's legacy, but also the resilience of the Filipino people during turbulent times. Collectors today often see the 1997 5 piso coin as a key piece in the new design series. While millions were minted, its historical context makes it a sought-after coin, especially for those who specialize in Philippine numismatics. Holding the 1997 5 piso was a reminder of the nation's endurance in a year marked by economic instability across Asia. This coin remained a stable medium of exchange, a symbol of reliability amidst uncertainty. Many Filipinos can recall using this coin for jeepney fares, small purchases in sari-sari stores, and countless everyday transactions. The coin also sparked pride because of its strong connection to Aguinaldo. For generations, Filipinos debated his role in history, whether as a pure hero or a controversial figure, but there is no denying his place in shaping the nation. The 1997 coin ensured that his story stayed alive in public consciousness. Interestingly, by the late 1990s, discussions had already begun about redesigning Philippine coins to make them more modern and harder to counterfeit. The 1997 5 piso was part of the last decades of the new design series before the transition to the BSP coin series in the 2000s. This gives the 1997 issue added significance as it stands between 2 eras of coinage. In terms of design aesthetics, the coin carried a certain elegance. The bold image of Aguinaldo, paired with clean text and the official seal on the reverse, gave it a dignified appearance. It was simple yet powerful, a design that reflected both tradition and authority. As the years passed, many of these coins went out of circulation, replaced by newer issues, but the 1997 edition still remains in collections and in the memories of those who lived through its time of use. For older generations, it brings nostalgia. For younger collectors, it brings curiosity and respect for history. Some Filipinos even consider this coin lucky, especially those who used it during the crisis years and still managed to overcome hardship. In that sense, the 1997 5 piso carries not only economic but also emotional weight. The coin circulation period also overlaps with the time when the Philippines was experiencing significant cultural growth, music, film, and arts were flourishing. In a way, the 5 piso of 1997 witnessed an era when Filipinos were asserting their identity in more confident and global ways. In international coin collecting circles, Philippine coins from the 1990s are starting to gain more attention. Collectors in Asia, Europe, and the United States look for these coins because they represent an emerging market story, one filled with resilience and transformation. The 1997 5 piso is more than just a coin. It is a messenger of history. It tells us about Aguinaldo, about the struggles for independence, about the role of money in shaping national identity, and about the challenges faced during one of Asia's most volatile economic decades. For Filipino collectors, this coin is often a must-have because it represents both national pride and personal memory. Many collectors start their journey by holding on to coins they grew up with, and the 1997 5 piso is one such coin that sparks that passion. Today, we will dive into the fascinating history of the Philippine 25 centimo 2013 coin. Though small in size and value, this coin carries with it a long story tied to the Philippines' cultural identity, economy, and evolving numismatic heritage. By the end of this video, you'll realize why even a simple coin like this deserves deep respect and curiosity. So, let's explore the incredible journey of the 25 centimo 2013. The 25 centimo coin has been part of Philippine coinage since the early days of the Republic, but the 2013 issue belongs to the new generation currency, NGC series, which the Banco Central ng Pilipinas (BSP) introduced to modernize the country's coinage. This coin is often overlooked because of its small denomination, yet it carries a wealth of history and symbolism worth discussing. The 2013 series was launched to address the challenges of counterfeit coins, provide updated security features, and ensure that Filipino currency reflected the nation's modern aspirations. Unlike its predecessors, the 25 centimo 2013 coin was designed with simplicity and uniformity in mind, matching the rest of the new generation coins. Made from nickel-plated steel, the coin is lightweight but durable. The change in composition was strategic, aiming to reduce production costs while ensuring long-lasting circulation. Earlier issues of 25 centimo coins were often made of copper or brass, but the shift to nickel-plated steel showed the government's intent to adapt to global coinage standards. On its obverse, the coin features the denomination 25 centimo and the year of minting, along with the inscription Republica ng Pilipinas. This minimalistic approach was meant to create consistency across the coin family, making it easier for citizens to recognize and use them. The reverse of the coin bears the image of the stylized Philippine flag's sun with its rays, a powerful emblem of freedom and independence. This choice of design reflects national pride and ties the coin to the broader theme of unity and resilience of the Filipino people. What makes the 25 centimo 2013 interesting is not just its face value but the fact that it represents a transitional phase in Philippine currency. It symbolizes the nation's movement into a new era of financial systems, technological improvements, and global recognition of its currency. During 2013, the Philippines was undergoing rapid economic growth, and the modernization of coins and banknotes was part of that progress. The 25 centimo coin circulated widely in markets, small shops, jeepneys, and sari-sari stores, becoming a common companion in the daily lives of Filipinos. Today we are going to take a fascinating journey into the history of the Philippine 1 piso coin from the year 2010, a piece that not only carries the face value of the national currency but also holds the echoes of the country's past, its struggles, its triumphs, and its continuing evolution in the modern world. The 1 piso 2010 coin belongs to the new generation currency coin series, a pivotal series that symbolizes modernization while staying deeply rooted in the Philippines' history and identity. The 2010 1 piso coin features the iconic portrait of José Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines, whose life and writings inspired the movement for independence during Spanish rule. The decision to keep Rizal on the 1 piso denomination demonstrates the coin's role as a circulating reminder of patriotism, education, and the pursuit of freedom. It was designed to instill national pride in every Filipino who used it in daily transactions, linking everyday life to the country's historical narrative. When the 1 piso coin was released in 2010, the Philippines was undergoing numerous changes: economic, political, and cultural. This coin was a part of the broader monetary reforms by the Banco Central ng Pilipinas (BSP) aimed at strengthening the economy and modernizing the country's currency system. Unlike earlier issues, the 2010 piso emphasized durability, resistance to counterfeiting, and ease of recognition for the public. The material used in the 2010 1 piso coin was nickel-plated steel, a practical choice that provided strength, longevity, and a silvery appearance that distinguished it from lower denominations like the centimo series. This decision also reflected the government's concern for cost efficiency in minting coins that would endure heavy daily use. On the obverse side, José Rizal's portrait is prominently displayed, accompanied by the words República ng Pilipinas and the year of minting, 2010. The reverse side carries the denomination 1 piso along with the official seal of the Banco Central ng Pilipinas. These design choices combine both national identity and institutional authority, symbolizing a balance between heritage and governance. The introduction of the 2010 piso also aligned with the Philippines' continued participation in global trade and tourism. Coins like this, although often overlooked, become silent ambassadors of the country's culture to foreigners who encounter them. They serve not only as mediums of exchange but also as carriers of national stories, traditions, and values. One fascinating aspect of the 2010 1 piso coin is its place within the transition of Philippine coinage. Prior to its release, coins bore different stylings, but this series began a shift toward more modern and uniform designs. Collectors today see the 2010 piso as an important marker of that transition, making it more than just a coin but also a collectible that tells the story of change. The introduction of the 2010 piso also aligned with the Philippines' continued participation in global trade and tourism. Coins like this, although often overlooked, become silent ambassadors of the country's culture to foreigners who encounter them. They serve not only as mediums of exchange but also as carriers of national stories, traditions, and values. One fascinating aspect of the 2010 1 piso coin is its place within the transition of Philippine coinage. Prior to its release, coins bore different stylings, but this series began a shift toward more modern and uniform designs. Collectors today see the 2010 piso as an important marker of that transition, making it more than just a coin but also a collectible that tells the story of change. The coin also highlights the respect and reverence the Philippines holds for José Rizal. Placing him on the 1 piso coin ensures that millions of Filipinos are reminded of his ideals each day. Rizal's legacy, encapsulated in this small piece of metal, serves as a constant nudge toward unity, courage, and sacrifice for the betterment of the nation. During this period, the Philippine economy was growing steadily and the BSP's decision to maintain strong, durable coinage mirrored the drive to strengthen the country's financial institutions. A robust monetary system required coins that could withstand circulation for years without deterioration, and the 2010 piso was crafted precisely with this in mind. Interestingly, while most people used the 2010 piso coin for daily transactions, coin collectors began recognizing its importance. In numismatic circles, these coins were often valued for their role in the evolution of Philippine currency rather than for rarity. However, pristine uncirculated versions and error coins from the 2010 series have occasionally caught the attention of collectors, fetching higher than face value in auctions and online sales. The production quality of the 2010 piso also reflected the BSP's effort to standardize coin sizes and appearances. This helped reduce confusion among the public and ensured that vending machines, counters, and banks could process coins. Today we will dive deep into the fascinating story of the Philippine 5 piso coin issued in 2014. At first glance, this coin might look like just another piece of everyday currency, but behind its design and circulation lies an incredible history tied to the nation's culture, economy, and heritage. The 5 piso denomination has always been one of the more eye-catching coins in Philippine currency because of its larger size and the important figures featured on it. The 2014 issue continues this tradition, capturing the attention of both everyday users and coin collectors worldwide. To understand the 2014 coin, we must trace back the history of the Philippine currency system. The modern piso was introduced after the country moved away from the old peso, fuerte, and later Spanish-influenced monetary systems, evolving into the currency we recognize today. The Banco Central ng Pilipinas (BSP), established in 1993, played a crucial role in redesigning and securing the nation's coins. By 2014, the BSP had already been modernizing coins to make them more secure, durable, and symbolic of the country's history. The 5 Piso 2014 coin belongs to the new generation currency coin series, a line of coins designed to feature notable Filipino heroes while also reflecting national pride. This series aimed not just to circulate money, but to educate citizens about the nation's heritage. On the obverse of the 2014 coin we see the image of Emilio Aguinaldo, the first president of the Philippines and one of the most iconic figures in the country's fight for independence. His placement on the 5 Piso coin elevates the denomination's prestige, connecting the coin directly with the spirit of freedom. Emilio Aguinaldo's presence on the coin is not just symbolic but a reminder of the sacrifices made during the Philippine Revolution against Spanish colonial rule. This makes the 5 Piso 2014 more than just currency. It becomes a piece of historical storytelling in metal form. The reverse of the coin showcases the logo of the Banco Central ng Pilipinas, reinforcing the identity of the issuing authority. Alongside it, inscriptions highlight the year of minting, 2014, making it instantly recognizable for collectors and historians alike. Composition matters as much as design. The 5 Piso 2014 coin is nickel-plated steel, giving it both a silvery appearance and strong durability. This material was chosen to withstand years of circulation while also lowering production costs compared to precious metals. Its size and weight also set it apart. Larger than most other coins in circulation, the 5 Piso naturally stands out in a pocket or wallet. This makes it not only practical for everyday transactions but also memorable for collectors. In 2014, the Philippine economy was stable and growing, and coins like the 5 Piso circulated widely in markets, jeepney fairs, and sari-sari stores. What makes the 2014 coin particularly interesting is that it represents the tail end of the Aguinaldo design before BSP made further changes to the 5 Piso. This transitional role increases its collectible appeal. Another fascinating point is how the coin reflects national identity. Every time someone holds the 2014 5 Piso, they are reminded of Aguinaldo's leadership and the struggle for independence. This transforms the coin into both a tool for trade and a cultural symbol. International collectors often seek out the 2014 issue because it is a distinct part of the new generation currency coin series. Coins tied to heroes of independence are always in demand, especially from nations with strong revolutionary histories. Errors and minting anomalies also make the 2014 5 Piso highly desirable in the collector's market. Off-center strikes, double dies, or unusual plating differences can turn an ordinary coin into a rare treasure, worth many times its face value. The year 2014 also marked the continued expansion of online marketplaces like eBay in the Philippines. Collectors began listing 5 Piso coins and international buyers showed interest. This broadened the reach of the coin beyond Philippine borders. Many Filipinos also began holding onto their 2014 5 Piso coins, sensing that they would become harder to find once the design changed. As time passes, surviving examples in excellent condition will only increase in value. From a numismatic perspective, the 5 Piso 2014 holds a fascinating balance between modern minting technology and historical representation. It is a bridge between past and present, an object of daily utility and historical pride. Looking closer at Aguinaldo's portrait, one can see the fine engraving and detail. These artistic choices were meant not only for aesthetics, but also to prevent counterfeiting. As design complexity adds a layer of security. For younger Filipinos, the coin acts as a small history lesson. Even if they don't immediately recognize Aguinaldo, the coin inspires curiosity and encourages them to learn more about the nation's revolutionary past. Economically, coins like the 5 Piso 2014 represent stability. They are designed for decades of circulation, which means each coin becomes a silent witness to countless daily exchanges, journeys, and personal stories. The lifespan of a coin in circulation often extends for years. A 2014 5 Piso might still be found in wallets today, carrying with it nearly a decade of history. For collectors, that passage of time only adds to its charm. Another layer of fascination comes from the fact that coin collecting is often generational. A 2014 5 Piso might be saved by a parent and later passed to their child, creating not just monetary value but also sentimental significance. Coin of 1968, a small yet historically rich coin that carries not only monetary but also cultural and symbolic value. At first glance, it may appear like a simple piece of copper nickel alloy, but when you dive deeper into its story, you uncover layers of history, economy, design, and national identity. This coin is more than change in the palm of your hand. It is a miniature time capsule of the Philippines during a significant era of transition. The 1968 10 centimo coin belongs to the English series, one of the longest-running and most widely circulated coinage series in Philippine history. Introduced after World War II, the English series carried inscriptions in English, reflecting the Philippines' historical ties with the United States. The year 1968 sits right in the middle of this period, making the coin a fascinating study of a nation caught between colonial influence and a drive toward independence in identity. The coin's obverse features the Philippine coat of arms, a proud emblem of sovereignty and strength. It shows the sun with its 8 rays, representing the first provinces that revolted against Spanish rule, and the 3 stars for Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. This was not a random design choice. It was a deliberate reminder of the unity and resilience of the Filipino people. Even in the smallest denominations of currency, on the reverse, we find the denomination inscribed, along with the year of minting 1968. The clarity and precision of the coin's engravings speak volumes about the craftsmanship and intent to highlight national pride. Though modest in size, its symbolism was immense, reminding every Filipino of their shared heritage every time they held it. The year 1968 itself was a period of change and challenges for the Philippines. Under the administration of President Ferdinand Marcos, the country was navigating modernization while also facing political and economic turbulence. Coins like the 10 centimo became everyday companions of citizens, circulating through markets, transport fares, and daily transactions, silently narrating the story of ordinary lives during an extraordinary period. This coin was struck in copper-nickel, a practical choice meant to withstand daily circulation. Its durability reflects the resilience of the Filipino people who, much like their currency, endured wear and tear but remained strong through the decades. The 10 centimo might have had little purchasing power, but its role in everyday trade and economy was undeniable. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1968 10 centimo coin is its connection to the broader historical journey of Philippine coinage. After the English series, coins would gradually shift to the Filipino series, marking a stronger cultural identity by replacing English with the national language. Thus, this coin stands at a transitional stage, bridging colonial influence with the assertion of Filipino pride. Collectors today find the 196810 centimo to be a fascinating piece not because of its metallic value but because of the story it tells. It is a reminder of the country's evolving identity, of its people's everyday struggles and triumphs, and of the artistry that goes into something as ordinary as coinage. The coin size may be small, but the historical impact it carries is massive. Every scratch, every worn edge tells us about the hands it passed through: farmers in the provinces, jeepney drivers in the city, children buying sweets, and families saving up in jars. It is a true witness of Filipino life in the late 1960s. Some versions of this coin remain in circulation among collectors, though in heavily worn condition. Pristine examples are rare, and those that still shine with their original mint luster are highly prized. The rarity factor increases when coins have errors, such as misstrikes, off-centering, or unusual metal quality. The symbolism of the coat of arms and the national elements is worth emphasizing again. For a young nation continually affirming its place on the global stage, embedding national pride in coins was a way of solidifying identity. The 10 centimo coin of 1968 is a tangible reminder of that effort. Economically, during 1968, the 10 centimo had small but notable purchasing power. It could buy candies, a portion of transportation fare, or a local newspaper. For families of modest means, every centimo counted, making this coin a critical part of daily survival and household budgeting. In global numismatic circles, Philippine coins from the English series attract significant attention because they highlight the Philippines' unique colonial and post-colonial history. Collectors from abroad often seek out coins like the 196810 centimo for their historical value. One could say this coin is an unsung hero of Philippine currency. Unlike the larger denominations, which often get celebrated, the small centimo coins carried just as much history. They traveled farther, touched more hands, and bore more stories of the common Filipino than their larger counterparts. Over time, the 10 centimo denomination would lose much of its purchasing power due to inflation, but its memory remains preserved in collections and historical accounts. The 1968 edition captures a very particular snapshot of a nation balancing tradition, modernity, and cultural identity. For coin enthusiasts, finding a well-preserved 196810 centimo is like holding a piece of living history. It connects you directly to the Philippines of the 1960s, a decade of change, modernization, and complexity. The aesthetic design of the coin is also worth admiration. Its modest yet precise engravings highlight the skill of the minting process at the time, reflecting attention to detail despite its low face value. Some families still hold onto these coins. Centimo coin of 1972. Though it may seem like just a tiny coin, its story connects to the nation's culture, economy, and history in powerful ways. Let's explore this fascinating coin in depth. The 10 centimo coin of 1972 belongs to the second series of coins issued by the Central Bank of the Philippines after the country gained independence. It was part of the Valuablecoins the New Society program, launched during the presidency of Ferdinand Marcos. This era emphasized nationalism, economic reform, and new symbols of progress. The obverse of the coin features the portrait of Francisco Baltasar, also known as Francisco Balagtas, the great Filipino poet often called the Prince of Tagalog poets. His most famous work, Florandi at Laura, is a cornerstone of Philippine literature. By placing Balagtas on the 10 centimo, the government highlighted the importance of culture and identity. The reverse side of the coin carried the seal of the Central Bank of the Philippines, Bangko Central ng Pilipinas, symbolizing monetary stability and authority. The inclusion of the central bank seal was meant to assure Filipinos of the credibility of their money during a time of political and economic transition. This coin was minted in copper nickel-clad steel, giving it durability and a silvery appearance. At just 10 centimos, its value was modest, but it served millions of Filipinos daily for small transactions such as jeepney fares, candies, newspapers, and other essentials. The year 1972 was also significant because it was the same year Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law in the Philippines. Coins like the 10 centimo became silent witnesses to a turbulent chapter in Philippine history, circulating in the hands of ordinary citizens during an era of political control and economic challenges. Placing Balagtas on the coin was no accident. Marcos wanted to promote Filipino nationalism, and Balagtas represented the voice of the Filipino people, their struggles, and their dreams for freedom. In a way, the coin was not just currency but also a political and cultural message. The coin was small, light, and often overlooked, yet it was part of everyday Filipino life. For children, it meant a chance to buy sweets or toys. For workers, it was part of their fare or small savings. For collectors, it was an artifact, carrying symbols of an evolving series. NDS introduced by the Bangko Central ng Pilipinas BSP in 2000. This coin is significant because it marked a transition in Philippine coinage both in terms of design and symbolism, as it honored two important figures in Philippine history. The 2005 issue continued this tradition, circulating widely during a period of rapid economic and social change in the Philippines. The obverse side of the 2005 10 piso coin features the portraits of Andres Bonifacio is shown in the foreground, symbolizing courage and action. Mabini is placed beside him, representing intellect and wisdom. The inclusion of both men highlights the balance of revolutionary spirit and leadership needed for the country's independence struggle. The reverse side carries the BSP logo, introduced in 1993 when the Bangko Central ng Pilipinas was re-established under Republic Act 7653. It also features the coin's denomination and year of minting. In this case, 2005. The coin has a reeded edge which helped prevent counterfeiting and made it easier to distinguish from other denominations. The 2005 10 piso coin was a bimetallic coin which made it unique and harder to counterfeit. The outer ring was made of copper-nickel. The inner core was made of aluminum bronze. This bimetallic structure gave the coin a distinct two-tone color, silver on the outside and golden yellow at the center. First introduced in 1983, the NDS underwent several changes to reflect modern minting standards. By 2000, the BSP released the bimetallic 10 piso coin to replace the 10 peso banknote, which was more costly to produce and wore out faster than coins. The decision to feature two heroes instead of one was groundbreaking. Bonifacio represented the masses and the call to arms, while Mabini represented the guiding principles of the revolution. Their partnership on the coin symbolizes unity in the fight for freedom. 2005. The Philippines was undergoing economic challenges. such as inflation and rising oil prices. The BSP relied on durable coinage to reduce printing costs of banknotes. The 10 peso coin was heavily circulated in daily commerce, particularly in transportation, fairs, food markets, and small transactions. The coin became widely associated with public transportation fares, as jeepney and bus fares often required 10 peso coins. It also became a favorite among collectors because of its bimetallic structure and historical depictions. One of the major issues in the early years of the 10 peso coin was counterfeiting. Fake versions of the coin became common in the early 2000s. The BSP issued advisories warning the public to check details such as clear portraits of Bonifacio and Mabini, proper alignment of the BSP logo. The correct metallic ring and core colors. The 2005 issue maintained these security standards to ensure authenticity. 2005 10 peso coin circulated heavily for years. By 2018, the BSP released a new version of the 10 peso coin,